Hi, beautiful soul. Thank you for being here, mostly in the moment with me, Mystic Mia Moksha, for another Love Pick card reading. We're looking at how they feel about you then versus now. It can apply to an ex-partner or someone that you were interested in the past, or someone that you have no communication with, or someone that you are currently with right now. And have been for a very long time or a short time. It's just then versus now, whatever that means to you. It should resonate, and if it doesn't, you can always pick another pile, or I have other love pick card readings if you want more information about this connection. But for most people, the pile you pick should resonate for the person you are thinking of, and if not, it could be another pile. Yeah, we have 4 piles here. You could choose a pile based on the number, the image, or the crystal that resonates with you. Thank you so much for your love and support. I can't tell you how much it means to me to have your comments and your likes, your donations, your purchasing of personal readings. It means so much to me. And with that, I hope you enjoy the reading, and I wish you much love and light. Hi, beautiful pile 616. With the Chipmunk and the orange crystal, orange calcite crystal. Let's see how they are feeling about you then, the last time you two connected. Magic. So this person had very significant feelings towards you, and they were kind of blown away that they found someone that they have this level of connection with. How do they feel about you now? We're going to go back and forth a little bit, like then and now, just to kind of get a comparison. Growth, sweetness. Okay, so this is someone that feels like they found their person and things have been going well between the two of you. I mean, the last time they connected with you, or like, back then, whenever then is for you, Knight of Swords, they took a chance on this connection. And the Page of Pentacles, not knowing exactly how things would pan out, they just kind of took a chance, and they felt like you were going to run away, or they were going to run away, or they're going to ask you out and then run away, or something nice is going to happen and they're going to run away, or something bad's going to happen and then they're going to run away, or you will. And so they kind of felt this kind of flighty energy with you because it was so magical. It's like, how could it not go wrong? You know how people are just kind of used to like good things not happening to them, or when they get a good thing, it like leaves them very quickly, whether it's a person or a situation or opportunity or whatever. So they kind of had like a flighty energy about this connection back then. But now they've seen how time has just made this connection that much more sweeter. It allowed the two of you to kind of grow more into yourself, more into the lives that you have now. And so they're way more Knight of Cups, yeah. They've opened up way more with this connection. They're allowing themselves to be even more romantic towards you because they've allowed this connection to kind of do its thing and let it breathe. They weren't suffocating this love by holding on to it too tight, and they weren't running away from this love because they were too afraid of change in their life or afraid that love would leave them. They really gave this a chance, and they are really making an effort, and they really have grown as a person romantically. Like, I feel like this person has gone through it, and I feel like you may have too, because the flighty energy was not just from their side, it was from your side too. So both of you have kind of maybe gone through it in terms of past romantic situations. And you might see this person being even more romantic towards you because they've kind of trust the process now, trust you, trust that they know what they're doing now. Okay, so how do they feel about you back then? I know you've been right. I've been trying to forgive myself. Because I feel like even, like, you might have been, like, kind of nervous and kind of flighty and kind of scared yourself. Like, what if they mess up? I want to run. Or, maybe I should leave now before they, like, they give me a reason to. Or, I don't know. I feels like both of you are flighty, but you might have felt like you're standing your ground, even though you have so many reasons to run, even though you've had so many bad experiences in the past. Like, you have a reason to run, but you kind of held your, like, dug in your heels and, like, kept yourself in the connection. So it wasn't just them that was flighty. Like, you were kind of a little bit nervous around them too, just because of probably past experiences or something. Like, they remind you an ex of who did something similar, or even though they're two completely different people, so Spirit is like, it's not the situation you can't trust. It was a person. So that was a past person. This is a new person. You might have similar experiences with this new person. You might go to the same restaurant. You might have similar date nights. You might go to the same place for a vacation even. But if that's going to trigger you into thinking that you're with that same person or that same situation is going to happen again, then that's something that you need to work on. So it wasn't just them. You were kind of flighty too with this person in the beginning or back then. But I feel like they actually kind of fled, and it wasn't even like, I feel like they weren't even being like a bad person, like a bad guy or bad girl. Like, they were just kind of like, they would do something nice to you and then they wouldn't do something nice to you like the next day. Like, they would be really sweet and then give you the cold shoulder the next day, and then be sweet again, then give you the cold shoulder. Like, it was it was like hot and cold with them, like by day or week by week or month by month, and you're just like, what is up with this person? And they're driving me crazy. But I feel like you might have been giving off the same energy, but just not as strongly, because you were like, I know I've had issues in the past, but that's not going to stop me from being a better person in this relationship. So you kind of were telling them, like, stop doing that or something. Like, you made them aware of it, but you also made them aware that you're in a similar situation, so you're not like mad at them for it, but like, stop doing it or something like that. Whatever the situation is, like, you didn't hold them to it. You're like, I have the same issue, so I'm not like mad at you. Don't take this as like I'm yelling at you, but this is like, we should work on this. You should work on it, and I should work on this too. So you made them aware of it, which means that you were kind of more of a leader in that case. You're the one who kind of stuck it out and gave the advice and like kind of looked after the connection in this way. I imagine you naked. Yeah. They definitely have a very strong sexual desire for you. And I feel like you guys had a lot of physical intimacy, and not just like sexually, but with like, spending physical time together, like touching each other even while watching TV on the couch or something like that, like I'm getting an image of like holding hands even while sleeping or something. That's cute. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at how adorable that is. Like, I wish, that's cute. Won't your hands get hot? Anyway, and just like little things like appropriate amount of PDA out in public, and you notice when they're looking at you and you look at them to get to see their opinion when someone says something in the room or something like that. So there's a lot of like, it's very obvious like physical like intimacy between the two of you, even when you're not doing anything like lovey-dovey or sexual. It's like it's very clear to even people around you that you two like have this intense bond, even if it's just like having a conversation with other people kind of thing. Like, you two kind of look to see what the other person says, or always like, giving them eye contact or talking them up or something like that. So there's a lot of physical intimacy between the two of you from the get-go. And even if you might not think about it, like it's just the amount of time you to touch each other while doing dishes, or even walking around the town or something, like it's very it's more intimate than most people on here consider. Okay. What about now? I know we're being spiritual guided. So now they have like so much, like I feel like you might have noticed that their flighty energy has kind of dissipated and they're a little bit more grounded, and they might even do like more romantic stuff, or they haven't stopped doing romantic things for you, but now they're not running so much immediately after they do it. Isn't that crazy? People do that sometimes, just like do something romantic and then be completely like embarrassed by it, or feel like they did too much, or just feel like, no, now I have to be cold, otherwise you'll get the wrong impression of me, or I have to keep up with it, or I don't know, whatever the reason. I think it's more like I don't want to come off like I'm doing too much, or I don't want to fall too hard or something like that. So they like do something romantic and then run. And it's not like they don't want to be with you. It's just like they're like, I don't know, trying to keep the energies even. I'm getting like not trying to scare you away. Yeah. Okay. You hurt me, but that's okay. And I came up from your side. So I feel like you have been currently telling them about how this connection has been a bit hurtful towards you recently. Okay, let me see the main energy from back then, the main energy now, and how they feel about you. The main energy from back then. Justice. So I feel back then there was with the 8 and the 11 here, like a lot of love, a lot of action being taken on that love, and it was very abundant. The two of you were able to kind of very much share love very easily, evenly, in the physical with each other through little things. I'm getting a lot. And what about now? And I'm getting that's added up. Like you both kind of recognize how all these little moments have added up to become like a very strong thing between the two of you. 9 of Earth, yeah. Again, with the very abundant. This connection has allowed you to kind of achieve a lot in your own personal goals, but maybe not in mutual goals yet. So this connection seems like you were able to give each other love and support in ways that you didn't know you'd ever receive from another person, or haven't received from another person like this, I'm hearing. And now you're both recognizing that this connection has allowed each of you to pursue higher goals, achieve bigger dreams for yourself individually. But I feel like the two of you haven't really achieved something bigger for the connection, for the both of you, for the relationship recently or ever. So that's the thing I'm getting. The main thing here is you two were kind of flighty, helped each other realize that, like, no, there might be similar situations in this connection to a past connection, but it's not, it's different if it's with a different person. So there's a lot of lessons being learned with that. Being okay to love, being okay in a relationship. It's more like that, because I feel like the two of you are, just like normal people who are, good. Like you just, learn things in life and apply them, kind of thing. Like just, nothing too dramatic, or at least nothing too traumatic that you two haven't already healed. So it's kind of like you two should be in a good place now, or in a better place. But it's like, and you're both looking back and be like, hey, this connection has made me a better person, but I don't know if the relationship has gotten into a better place. Interesting. Okay, so what's the main theme of this connection? Forgiveness. So it's kind of more of a forgiveness towards self, because I feel like the two of you have kind of shunned away love a lot because of past experiences. It could even have gone all the way to childhood with parents and such. Yeah. This connection has been, since then and now, has been a exercise in forgiveness towards self for going through past romantic relationships in the way that it happened. Forgiveness towards self about treating the other person like they were going to leave, or that they were going to make the same mistake as someone in the past, or something like that. And having past relationships affect this connection too much between back then and now. Yeah, so I feel like this person is going through a real awakening to the fact that this connection is really good and they're safe, and they need to forgive themselves for not feeling that way in the beginning, not trusting this connection, trusting themselves, trusting you. But it wasn't you. Like, and I feel like you might have gone through the same thing. Both of you were kind of mirroring these, like, it seems like final lessons before kind of coming into a very strong connection, either with this person or the next person. But I feel like both of you, this is like the next necessary step that you two both needed to take in order to go to the next thing, to enter a next level, into the next level of a relationship, either with this person or the next person. Okay, let's see. What is Spirit's message from back then? What was going on back then? Nurture yourself, meditate. Yeah, this was like a whole lesson in kind of turning inward and healing past relationships. I feel like it was nothing to do with either of you. You might have got hurt by the person, they might have got hurt by you, but it was nothing really to do with the other person. I think your person's fine, Pile 616. I think your person's fine. I think you know it, and I think they know it too. I think it was just both of you were just reliving past stuff, relationship stuff, and it might be more than one person, through this connection, and realizing that they're projecting old problems onto this connection, and they're realizing it now because they're healing it, probably, that they can trust you and that this is a very valuable connection, and both of you have done better since the relationship started. Okay, message from them and their higher self. Your love mends my broken heart. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah. It's like, when your heart has been broken so many times over and over again, even if it seems kind of, little because it was like a best friend, or something a long time ago because it was a parent or a family member, or something even recent, recent heartbreak from a recent relationship. Whatever the situation is, like, this connection really helped heal that. And you could tell because of the kind of situation you two were going through. It was like both of you might realize right now, because you've both kind of done the healing, it was never the other person that was kind of frustrating you, annoying you, or holding you back. It was past relationships, and you were both playing it out with each other. And this is a very strong message, because this is a strong indicator that you're ready for the next thing, and so are they. Whether it's together or with the next person, like, you two came into each other's life for a really strong reason. Like 616 is the number of reunion. Okay, a message from their higher self. I am so sorry. Okay, so this came up from your side though, so I feel like you're also apologizing to them for, like, kind of blaming them for the same thing that they're blaming you. So I feel like both of you are, like, kind of taking half the blame. It's like both of you are like, oh no, it's not just you, we're both kind of doing the same thing here. So that's such a beautiful message, and I'm going to end this reading with what the angel number 616 may signify. This is from Joanne's Sacred Scribes. 616 may be suggesting that a new relationship is imminent, either with a newcomer or through reignited love in your existing partnership. Be open to giving and receiving love, and do not fear the new entering your life. Be open and receptive to others who show affection to you, for you. Receive all compliments with gratitude and love. How beautiful. I decided not to look up the exact meaning of the numbers until after the reading, just to, like, get my messages out first and then have it confirmed. So there's your confirmation, beautiful piles of 616. I hope you enjoyed your reading. I would love a like or comment if this resonates, or even if you just liked it, or if you even resonate with some of the messages, or even if, especially if it resonates with you completely. Thank you for the confirmations. Thank you for your love and support, helping me so much with my soul mission. I hope my messages are helping you with your soul mission. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day, and I wish you much love and light. Hi, lovely pile 727 with the Diopside and the tree frog. Let's look at how they were feeling about you then and now. So then they were very, very intrigued by you, very curious. I feel like you were so enticing because of your magnetism. Like, they were so super attracted to you, and they didn't completely understand why. Like, obviously because of your looks and just the way you carry yourself, this curious air around you. They just didn't know who you were, what you did. But they had a feeling they wanted to know everything about you, and they didn't know why. They didn't know why. They had this deep, profound desire to just get to know you on such a deep level and know everything about you. And they felt, like, creeped out. I feel like even to themselves, because they felt like a creeper, like a stalker towards you. Because, like, I'm not like this. I'm normally not like this. Why do I want to know all this stuff about this person? Like, they just came in and, like, completely stole my mind from me, because I just can't help thinking about, like, you know, what they must be doing, what their schedule is like, what do they eat for lunch, you know, who do they hang out with, what kind of person are they, what kind of books do they read, do they read books at all, do they watch TV shows, you know, wonder how much TV they actually watch, like, what was their childhood like, you know, where do they want to live in the future, you know, do they have a preference of cars, like, or, you know, do they ride their bike around a lot, like, all these, like, different things. Like, I could go on, like, just blasting off some questions for another, like, 2 hours, I feel like. And I'm not the kind of person, I'm not, like, this is all channeled, like, I can't think of that many questions. This is all coming out channeling. So, like, this is, like, their energy that they just kind of want to continuously just know more and more and more about you. So that was back then, whenever then was for you. Let's see now. Okay, so we have the surrender card, and came out in hand and in reverse. So when a card like that comes out in hand, for me, it's like something they're keeping kind of quiet right now. Even kind of quiet to themselves because they don't want to remind themselves how much they're thinking about this. Okay, so they're slowly kind of giving into this connection I'm getting. And you know what's so funny? This like frog, it kind of like, from this deck, it's kind of like a sign of like, just hang in there. It kind of reminds me of like one of those like work posters with like the cat, like the little kitten hanging off the tree and just be like, just hang in there. And that's what this little cute tree frog reminds me. It's like, like almost like, look how cute they are. Just gotta wait it out, I guess. So that's the kind of feeling I'm getting, because like they've already surrendered to you in this connection, and they're just waiting for you to come around, or they're waiting for themselves to come around fully to this connection. But there's just like this like deep admiration for you. Interesting. Okay, so what is this mystery? 10 of Wands. Okay, I feel like back then you were very much an escape for them, because they had so many responsibilities and things to do every day, that they welcomed the many thoughts about you, and their curiosities, their questions, and their daydreams, and anything that had to do with you, because it allowed them to kind of escape the very busy, hectic life that they had then. I don't know if they just got a new job, or if they had a new project at work, or if they had a lot of things going on with their kids or family or health or something, but they welcomed you into their mind, because, and like allowed you to stay free for as long as you wanted, because it allowed them to kind of escape their day-to-day life, which I'm getting wasn't like bad. It was just like so jam-packed with responsibilities, for whatever reason. Okay, so, and what about now? The World. Wow. And the Hermit. Okay, so because all three of these cards came out reversed, that means for me that they are feeling this about you right now. I'm getting specifically when you're watching this reading, they are specifically feeling this about you very strongly right now. We have two major arcanas here. Okay. The World and the Hermit. They just want to kind of run away with you somewhere and just be with you. I feel like they want to indulge this curiosity. They're like kind of like giving in to these like little curiosities and like whims they have about knowing more about you. They're like, they've been able to control themselves a lot, because I feel like they're like a very hard worker, or they've had a lot of like physical energy stuff in their life, so their life has been actually physically very full. Their schedule is always, the time is always scheduled to the minute kind of thing. They're always like running off doing this thing or that thing, meeting with people, doing things, tasks, and if it's not that, then they're have a million chores at home to do or something like that. Like they're always someone who's always very, very physically busy, like doing things, moving around. And now, and so like back then they kind of, you made them like kind of smile and laugh and, made them think about things that they weren't able to because they were so busy doing a million things. But I'm getting this, they're so grateful to you, because if you weren't there, they might have not been a person. Like they might have just continued being a robot, and they might like love what they do for work, or like their friends and family, or they might like specific things about their life, but they didn't like how physically busy that they were, constantly. But they really enjoyed, having these like daydreams about what you might be doing, and, things that they made themselves laugh because they're like, oh yeah, like I wonder what shoe size they are. Like I wonder if they're the kind of person that might think it's weird if someone bought them shoes for a birthday gift, like someone that they don't know really well. And then they kind of laugh to themselves, like, what am I thinking right now? I don't even know this person well, or, I don't, I haven't, talked to them much even. So like they really enjoy these kind of curiosities that they had about you, because I'm like, it's not even like desires or like fantasies of like what the two of you would like do if you were together, or sexual fantasies or anything like that. Like, I mean, there might be like tossed in there with all these other curiosities, but it was actual like a genuine desire to get to know you on more than just one level, not just sexually or romantically, but as a person. I don't know. And they're like, I don't know why, like I don't get it. I'm not this kind of, I don't think people are interesting. Like I'm not like, like I'm not gonna be someone who studies anthropology or philosophy or any of this kind of stuff, or how people work or societies or civilizations. Like that's not my thing. I don't even care for people watching. I don't even understand people who do people watch. I don't get it. I feel like they're not, I feel like they're not even the kind of person that like watches TV too much, or, like they don't understand reality TV. And they might not even watch that much TV or movies or anything unless they have specific interests. So they're like, I don't even care about people, like, but I care so much about them. I'm so interested. And they allow themselves to indulge these curiosities about you because they were just so amazed that they were just so interested in someone for the sole sake of being curious, not a creep or not obsessive, and not like a hopeless romantic or anything, just like out of pure genuine curiosity. Wow. That's, and now they want to like, because I feel like Spirit made me like explain that so much, because like I want you to like, they want you to know how like unusual this is, and there's a reason for it, of course. I've been thinking about proposing to you. So, like I said, it wasn't like even out of their mind to be curious about how things would be sexually with the two of you, even if you two have been together, like how the future would be. I feel like they would even think about proposing to you or getting married to you, because they're like, if I'm obsessing about this person in this way for this long and I don't really know them, or I know very little, or we've been together or known each other for a very little time or something, or we only spent a little bit of time together, like that, like it must be because we're meant to be. And so that's what I was saying. I'm like, yeah, like there's obviously a reason why they're kind of totally obsessed with you. It's kind of like I'm getting like pheromones, like how when you can smell like someone's pheromones off their sweat and stuff, and you like are so attracted to their specific sweat smell. Like you're probably going to be attracted to that person in multiple other ways, right? That's what I'm getting. Like this is like this curiosity in you. It's because and like their spirit, their soul, their body, their mind is picking up that they are interested in you in much deeper ways. And it's coming out in this way. So interesting. And now all they want to do is kind of just run away with you and just spend time with you, just you and them for a while, and just get to know you and spend time with you. That's their dream. And they've been kind of visualizing and thinking about it for so long that they just can't, like, they can't do it in their current life, because they're so busy. So they're thinking about just like running away with you, or that's what they wish, to a different country, a nice more area that's like more recreational, or more, there's more sunlight, or more a different culture, or maybe even certain activities. Maybe it's more snow, maybe it's further north, further south. I don't know it was just kind of like a place where it can just be the two of you. And maybe there's people there, maybe not. But like if there were people there, it wouldn't be people that either of you really know, just kind of like townspeople kind of thing. Or it could be like in a cabin in some mountain or something. That's why it's important for me to kind of say like, no, they're not like a creeper. It's not like a hostage situation. It's just kind of like they kind of daydream about like you're their form of escapism sometimes, you know. You're their one way to kind of have a normal life in their head rather than just being constantly like burnt out. And so they do have these fantasies of just kind of running away with you, and just like it's like you and me against the world. And they're slowly kind of surrendering to this kind of energy, this thought. I don't want to be with anyone else. Yeah. I've been manifesting our connection. Wow, in both bold caps. Okay, so this is a situation where they've been thinking about you for so long. They've been intentionally or unintentionally manifesting you. And they're kind of like, you've been kind of in their life for so long, even if you don't feel like it. Like physically you haven't really talked much, or like been hanging out that much, or it hasn't been that long, or you two have kind of like disconnected since back then, or you know, whatever the situation is. I feel like that's the situation here for 727. I feel like this person has chosen you. It's kind of one of those things like, again, I don't want to say like a situation where like Stockholm syndrome kind of situation where like I feel like this person has like a very deep, rich inner life, and they kind of want to manifest that into their physical reality. And the way that they would do it is just being with just them and their partner somewhere where they don't have a million tasks to do every day, physically, or that they can do it themselves or in their own way, and to be away from all these other people who kind of prevented them from that life, you know. So they're kind of rebelling against this life that they have been in and they're kind of tired of, and then they really want to make their inner life come into physical reality. And they're really comfortable with you now because they've been spending time with you inside for a long time. Okay. Let's see. So back then, you are wrong. Yeah. So back then, they might have actually rejected you, or you might have rejected them, saying, you know, not right for each other, or you know, one of you might have said like, hey, I think we would work really well together. I think we're kind of soulmates, or I think, you know, this kind of stuff doesn't happen every day, like we should take a chance on this. And the other person's like, no, you're wrong. And then one or both of you have been kind of secretly thinking about the other person and continuing to live on with that person by your side, but in your own minds. Ooh. And they think, you know, I'm too afraid to talk to you. Yeah, so I feel like they've started to slowly surrender to this situation and this connection. But now it's been so long that they've been kind of living with like their own head version of you, that they're kind of afraid to talk to you, you know? What was that? There was this beautiful show. Yeah, so it's Will from Will and Grace, or the actor's name is Eric McCormick. There's a show called Perception that came on TV a while ago, and it was Eric plays this character who is a brilliant professor, deep knowledge of human behavior. Oh, how funny! And how the brain processes information. Okay, but he's also a paranoid schizophrenic, and he had a wife, an ex-wife in the show, that he continued having a relationship with in his head, and would, like, physically see her in the room and talk to this person, and she would help him through all these situations. It was his way of coping with, like, difficult situations and stuff like that. He would listen to a lot of music in order to kind of deal with triggering situations. Anyway, later on in the show, in the series, we find out that his wife is actually still alive and never actually died. And he just couldn't have, he had an opportunity to have a relationship with his actual ex-wife in reality. But it was so different from his mind version of her that it was like hard for him to kind of get around that at first. So I'm kind of getting that kind of situation where it's just kind of like, oh, I built you up in my head and we had a lot of conversations and you helped me through a lot of stuff, that like it's kind of now terrifying to talk to like the real version of you, This is like kind of a very specific situation, but I feel like this is more common than people think, this kind of situation. Okay, so let's see the main theme of how they felt about you back then. How they mainly felt about you back then. 3 of Air, heartbroken. So even if they said that, this is wrong, or you said that this is wrong, or maybe they felt like, the situation was wrong, like they didn't have space in their life for you, and they weren't going to give up that job and that home and that location and that social life and that life that they worked so hard for, because this person comes along who's going to change all that, But you did. You changed them. Even when you left, they're still thinking about you, and they continued to. You changed them completely. And just because they turned down the opportunity, the divine wasn't going to let them leave you. Let you leave them. Your influence was there, whether it was in the physical or not. So, whoa. And what about now? Three of Water. Okay, we have 2 3s. So this has been a very like divinely guided connection, because Spirit did want the 2 of you to work together, and them saying no, or you saying no, or the situation just not being able to pan out back then wasn't going to be a reason that Spirit wasn't going to allow the 2 of you to work together. So it might have been that you 2 were working together in the spiritual realm, energetically, through dreams, through and getting in contact with each other's higher self. It might have been like that for a while. What was the main theme of this connection? Oh, this is not the deck I meant to use. In the light of the moon, a full moon can shine on what you have been resisting. This can be anything from your fears to your soul's beauty. Yeah, I wasn't even meant to use this deck, but Spirit brings you where you need to bring it. In the light of the moon. So yeah, it specifically says like they had been resisting this connection, and now they've surrendered, or they've been in the process of surrendering for a while now. Okay, so what's Spirit's message about what was happening We'll wrap it up with these few messages from them and Spirit. What was happening back then? Nothing is written. So back then, I feel like how this connection was supposed to happen wasn't written in stone. So it's like you or them or one of you might have been like, but this was meant to happen. Like, why didn't it? It's like, oh, but it did. They were living out this connection inside them. Or you were, or both of you were, energetically. And so, like, you never know, even if you feel it with all you know, like your entire intuition, your entire body is saying, like, oh no, we're meant to be. Who knows? Maybe you two are. It just didn't happen in the way that you thought it was going to. Bizarre, but like, hey, you would be surprised how much this kind of stuff happens. It happens more than people know. Okay. And then what's happening now, Spirit's advice, and then we'll pull a message from them. You're exactly when and where you're supposed to be. So Spirit's like, even if it didn't happen in the physical or the way that you thought it was going to, or the way that they thought it was going to, doesn't mean it didn't happen. Doesn't mean it's not happening now. Doesn't mean, like, I feel like because I feel like they were meant to go through that process of thinking about you nonstop internally. Using the thoughts of you, hypothetical situations, imagery, scenarios in their mind, and talking to your higher self or pretending to talk to you in real life, that gave them what they needed to evolve in a very specific way. Okay. I'm not saying it works for everyone, but for certain people, and I feel like they're such a workaholic. They're very, physically oriented person, which is not bad. But they were lacking in developing their inner world, And so this is them kind of like catching up to it. I feel like they were kind of someone who didn't really have really grand imagination when they were a child. They might have had a lot of goals, and they might be a very successful, very disciplined student, a child. They might have a lot of inspiration and motivation, but I don't think they were ever particularly creative. If they were, it was because of hard work, not because of enjoyment or of for example, if they were learning like a piece of music, they didn't put their heart and soul into it. They just kind of learned the notes and kind of did it exactly how they were told, kind of thing. They didn't have their own version of that piece or something. Like their own signature sound. They just kind of played it exactly how they were taught. So it was more of that. It was more hard work, not even if they are an artist or something, it was more technical than through natural abilities or something that they were channeling creatively. Seek divine there you go. Seek divine inspiration. Yeah. So they needed to kind of be called back to the light, to be called back to that spark within themselves. And you really, really help them with their inner journey. Wow. Okay, message from them. My heart is guarded at the moment. So I feel like they're still in the process of surrendering. They have made huge waves, but they have started surrendering to this connection. And in that, because this is a divine connection, they have started surrendering to their divine aspect. They have started surrendering to the idea of a higher power, kind of. You see how all those things are related? Okay, and then a message from their higher self, which you may already get many messages from. I love you. Aw. I'm gonna pull. So I don't know. In the higher realms, right? Like everyone loves everyone. Like it's all love and light, right? So, of course you're gonna get love from their higher self. You'll get love from anyone's higher self, But not to make it like smaller. But I'm just saying, like it's kind of funny because like, how, your angels, your spirit guides, your ancestors, your friends and your loved ones and your romantic interests, all higher selves are all gonna say they love you. I mean, it's special, but like, we know. Food, farming, gardening. To farming, yeah. So I feel like it's kind of like Spirit is kind of saying, you've planted this seed a long time ago, and your farm, your garden is finally starting to grow. I'm going to pull a couple more cards because it's kind of interesting. Like, I'm kind of interested in where this might go. Like someone mentioned in the comment section in the last reading, like, the future is subjective. So even I, as a tarot card reader with a lot of experience and a lot of mastery in my field, like I can tell when something is 100% absolutely going to happen, and when something is more kind of up in the air because of free will and timing, and the percentage can be higher or smaller. But yeah, and there's might be too many too many things in the air, variables. But as soon as you make a decision, like, a tarot card reader can read that. They can read the decision. They can read the current energies very strongly. What they might today be like, yeah, I want to be with this person, and then tomorrow be like, no. Then they switch their decisions, they switch their intentions, they switch their manifestations, and it's not just theirs. It has to also do with your intentions and your manifestation. So it kind of all interlocks. So it's like we can read the energy, but whether they follow through on it depends on many things, But it's most likely situation. First of all, what's the main theme? Prosperity. Okay. So I feel like you were meant to kind of catch up on your physical life, your money, your career, your relationships with others, your home, your health. Like, I feel like you were meant to kind of catch up on your physical life while they're catching up on their internal life. So you might have been very, very much in the spiritual realms, in your emotional body, in your mental body, in more of your unseen energies, while they were very much in their physical energies. And now you may have been working on physical things here and there. Now you're going to see big things manifest in your physical life, because you've already manifested so many things spiritually, mentally, and emotionally for yourself. And now it's like flipping. So this is a divine counterpart connection for sure. And then I'm just going to pull a most likely situation with them and you in this connection going forward. You are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. So I do feel you are getting a lot of love and physical abundance, because with the moon in Virgo, you did a lot of emotional work. So you're getting that love back in physical ways and very earthly ways. Where I'm getting your outer appearance in your physical body, your actual physical looks, and the physical way your life look is going to change. What does that mean about them in your life? A personal issue reaches resolution. So we don't know here what's gonna how this is gonna move forward. It's it seems like it won't matter because you're going to be looking and feeling good, feeling very full in love and full with abundance and prosperity. Um, but it does seem like they aren't resisting this connection anymore. They're surrendering to it. And, you know, whether you want to be with this person or not, if you care about this or not, or you're kind of tired of this, sick of this, and want to move on or not, when this person comes around, maybe you'll change your mind, maybe not. I mean, it doesn't really matter because the two of you planted the seeds and help these things grow on your garden and your farm in the ways that it need to. For them, it's their internal world. For you, it's your external world. And both of you are having the other world catch up with the amount of work you've done in the opposite world. All right. So I hope that answers some questions about this connection. I digged as deep as I could, as much as spirit would allow me, and yeah, I hope you enjoy this reading. If it resonated, I'm very interested to know how this resonates. Even if you just leave a like because you like this reading, I really appreciate it. Or if just parts of this reading resonated, I'm really interested to know if this is your energy, their energy, vice versa, or both, and what you're picking up about it intuitively, energetically. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day, and I wish you much love and light. Hi, Sexy Pile 838, the Cobra and the Citrine. Let's see how your person felt about you back then and then now. Rest. Okay, so I feel like your person wasn't too worried about this connection back then because you would talk to them a lot. You would do a lot for the connection, so they're like, oh, okay, I can relax, I can take a break. You know, they're not needy. In fact, they're giving. And, you know, if anything happens or if there's any issues, they always make sure to kind of communicate with me that everything's fine or they're over it or something like that. So, like, they're really, really, very calm and peaceful when this connection, about this connection back then, because I feel like you always kind of showed them with little things, whether it's communication or doing the love language act of service by like making dinner or acting like, you know, everything's fine, like indicating that, you know, the relationship isn't in a bad place, in a good place. You kept doing things like that, so they always felt like good about this connection. Okay, and what about how do they feel about you now? We're gonna go back and forth between how they felt about you then and now, just to get the comparison. How do they feel about you now? Anger in reverse. So there's a situation that came up that is something that they usually would get angry at, but they weren't this time, I'm getting. Empress and Nine of Swords. Okay. So I don't know if someone lost a child here, or someone lost a job opportunity. If one of you lost a home situation, a place to live, or somewhere that you were looking forward, one of you was looking forward to living somewhere, working somewhere, or having a child, or a grandchild, or something like that, adopting a child, whatever it is, adopting a pet or something like that. It didn't work out, it fell through, and they're like, normally they would be angry about the situation or expecting anger from you. I'm getting a lot of vice versa here, so there's going to be a lot of people watching this pile from both sides. So that's why I just have to go with the flow, okay? Like, I channel messages twice a week on this channel, so, you know, I'm trying to cover as many people as I can. That's why I do that. Vice versa sometimes. Okay, so yeah, normally you or them would get really angry in the situation, or you would expect your partner to get very angry in this situation. And this happened like recently because all the cards came out in reverse. But what's different this time? I've been having dreams of you. So what's different now versus back then, which is, give me a chance, I'm just as obsessed with you. Like back then they were just obsessed with your life and having an opportunity to be with you, that they didn't care what you did as long as you were part of their life, because you were so interesting to them. You were a good friend. You are very loyal. You're very supportive, I'm hearing. Very good looking, easy on the eyes. So it's like, fun to have you around, heartwarming to have you around. Anyone would be lucky to have you in their life, kind of thing, so they didn't want to let you go. And you made it really easy for them by letting them know, like, when you're not angry at them anymore, or if a difficult situation in your life has ended, or a difficult situation, like, for example, I have this thing called Hell Week, right? Which is just kind of like, oh, I know this week I have like a lot of projects, a lot of events, or a lot of things I need to do, so I'm gonna be very stressed out. And I tell everyone in my life that's relevant to tell, that like, oh yeah, this specific week, just letting you know, like, I tell them like ahead of time, like as soon as I figure out. Sometimes it's 3 months ahead, 2 months, a month ahead, like, this is coming up, just letting you know, like, this, I'm gonna be stressed out, like, I'm gonna need help, like, if I get mad at you, like, please understand, please make things okay, like, it's coming up, so I feel like that's kind of like, that's what's, so I feel like they feel so secure with you because you let them know when you're angry, when you're not angry, when you have stressful events going on in your life, when they're coming up, when they've ended, and things like that. Like, I feel like you're very, like, mentally, emotionally organized in your mind. You even think of, like, hey, we had an argument earlier today. Let me, like, do something nice for them so they know I'm not mad at them anymore. Like, even if you don't, like, physically communicate it to this person, like, you think that far ahead. You're a very nurturing, caring person, Pile 838. And so they had a lot of peace with you. I'm like, I could finally get some sleep. So they feel like they finally met someone who they can relax with, and not feel like they have to, like, completely, like, I feel like they might have been with, male or female, their ex-partner was just so high maintenance, whether they're male or female. And I'm not talking about, like, the amount that they took care of their looks or something like that. I just mean, like, the amount that had to go into making the relationship work was, like, too much. Too much patience, too much money, too much tending to it with not getting much back, or not getting anything back. So they just feel like, wow, here's a very special person. They help me out when I need it. They're very loyal and dependable. I don't need to worry about them. And not only that, they're good looking, and they let me know important situations when it comes to their emotions. Because I feel like your person, Pile 838, they really appreciate that, because it's not, everyone assumes that you should be able to tell what other people are feeling and thinking, and, like, play to other people's emotions. Like, no, emotions are irrational. We should not play to other people's emotions. Yeah, if someone's feeling a little sad, like, make sure that they're okay, but you can't structure everything, your whole life and all of society, based on people's emotions. We would have chaos, so If you can understand yourself, learn things about yourself enough, or like, oh, usually when I have new projects at work, like I usually get stressed around, 2 days into it, or like a week before, or you know um, the first few days or the last few days or something like that, or I'm really more stressed out about it the week after to see if I get approved or not. Like, it's all these things. Like, if you can learn things about yourself, and then like that would be advantageous to other people. So I'm picking up some like spiciness from you, sexy pal 838. Like, I feel like you're like definitely not one to mess with, and that's because you might be very personable, very hard worker as well, very kind, loyal, fierce, protective, but also fun and interesting, and a chameleon, can be seeing doing well in a lot of different kinds of situations. What was I getting to? I forget my train of thought. I went to go close the door the window, because there's just so much noise outside. Um, 1 second. Right, so they are very obsessed with the fact that like you take care of yourself so well too, and that you like put in the work to get to know yourself, and because of that, it makes life easier for the people around you, your loved ones, people that work with you, people you love with, and people you're in deep, loving, committed relationships with. So they're obsessed with you because you deserve to be obsessed with. You're a rock star at 838, because it feels like you put in so much extra effort to getting to know yourself in self-mastery. That's the definition of self-mastery, is getting to know yourself and mastering yourself, because there's going to be no one that lives on this planet before you or after you that will be exactly like you, with your specific talents and skills and passions and interests and experiences and wisdom. And it's like a combination that will never exist. So it is so worth it. This is what spirituality is about, right? It's so worth it to have a journey of self mastery, to learn who you are and be the best version of yourself you can be in this lifetime. You owe it to yourself, and the world needs you in that way, in that capacity. So when you know yourself so well that you can help other people understand you, they don't need to know everything, but to make a relationship work better that way, especially understanding emotions, which is like all of a relationship, what basically a whole relationship is about, whether it's friendship, romantic relationship, or a family relationship. It's about understanding the other person's emotions and thoughts. You can really get through anything together. So now, although this situation happened, you would normally get angry about, they have been dreaming of you so much, and probably in such a like a lot of different kinds of scenarios, that it doesn't bother them how the timeline shifts when the two of you are together. They're like, if we're not going down this path, or not going down it now, it does not matter, because I love you and I love us, and I am so happy with whatever happens in our life, whatever the universe puts in front of us, good or bad, because I'm just so lucky to have you by my side. Wow. Okay, so how did they feel about you then? I am terrified. And then anger came out. So they were a little bit worried because you are a bit spicy. Sexy pile 838. And they're also very terrified because they know they're not going to find anyone like you. You go above and beyond, right? They were terrified of what that meant in your expectations of them, if they can keep up. But mostly they were terrified because you have this very powerful side of you. I mean, you're powerful in your kindness and love and sharing and giving, but you're also powerful in your work ethic and the amount that you take on in this lifetime and the amount that you have already mastered and what you still continue wanting to master and how you continue to push yourself. So they were a little bit terrified because even though they're obsessed with you, they've never seen such power and beauty in one person. It was a lot to take, and it can be terrifying to see some of your negative emotions explode sometimes, but sometimes it's like it comes with that much power. It's like you don't want to mess with pile 838. What about now? Sex. Okay, so now they see everything in a positive way with you. So they're like, oh no, that's fine. Like something bad happened, that's fine. We can go on a beautiful trip together and have a lot of nice, fantastic sex and eat everything that we want to eat, fill our whims, desires, and come back. They don't see any, like anytime one of you trips or falls or like hits your face even that hard, which doesn't happen often, but when it does, your partner 838 does not freak out. They don't run away, they don't get scared, and they don't fear what might come next. They don't fear your wrath or potential unraveling of these complex negative emotions or explosion of thoughts and flurry of words that come out of you when something big like this doesn't pan out. They are your rock, 838. This person, they are your rock now. And maybe they might not ever reach your level of complexity or inner work or mastery, but they're on this spiritual journey with you and they understand you, and that's what this is all about. They can match your love, and they can they listen to what you say. When you say, this is how I am, this is how it's going to work, they know, they understand, and they know exactly what to do. And vice versa. You also know how to be there for your partner. Sexy 838. So I believe this is a really good match. And it might not seem so obvious outwardly. They might seem like a very peaceful person. You might seem a very loud person, or vice versa. But it works so well. And it's because you understand each other. Let's see. Let's pull one more card. So what was the main theme of how they felt about you back then? 9 of Fire. Yeah, look at these 2 9s. So they were a little bit worried that they wouldn't be able to be with you because, you were very fiery. But then they started to see these magical moments, and they realized that you're more than your looks or your personality or your goals and dreams. You are someone who takes the time to understand a person, to learn their interests, learn their love language, know when to be there for them or when to give them space. You listen, and on top of all the things you're very skilled at, wonderful, sexy pile 838. I mean, I'm not using that word lightly. I'm not using those descriptors lightly. Like, for as much as you do and accomplish and go after and fail, dust yourself off and go after again, for all the stuff that you do, I think your most undervalued, unseen, and powerful attribute something you probably worked on for a long time is being in a relationship with someone, being close to someone. And yeah, it's gonna apply here to your romantic love, but I feel like it's in friendship, it's in family relationships, and colleagues, coworkers, business partnerships. Maybe not everyone, but the people you come across, yeah. I'm getting, you don't waste your time with people, just anybody. Wow. Yeah, it's so undervalued. How to be a good partner to someone, how to be a good listener, how to be a good relationship. That's what they value the most. I mean, you're an incredible person, probably 38. But I mean, if this person, your person, 838, recognizes that, they must have those abilities too, or have the ability to grow in that way also with you. They're on this journey with you. No one's better than or less than the other person. I mean, obviously you might have more skills and talents and goals and so on and so forth, but your person is no dum-dum. They're very wise, and they can understand very complex situations. In fact, you might feel like this person is the only person that you've met that can actually understand some of the things you say sometimes. Which is why you probably chose them as much as they've chose you too. Main theme of how they feel about you now. Eight of Water. Yeah. You might be thinking, okay, it's time to walk away. Or you might be thinking about leaving, maybe changing the situation drastically, moving to a different area, making a huge life change, maybe even changing this connection in a very, very drastic way. And this is why it's important you hear this message today, 838, is because they understand you and they know you so well that they know exactly what to say to you, how to comfort you, what advice you'd give to yourself if you aren't actively feeling all these very complex, fluttering feelings every 2 seconds for like days or weeks. They know exactly what advice you'd give to yourself, what you would actually want to do if you control your emotions better at this time. And someone who knows you well enough that can tell you how to make things better. I feel like it's rare, Poly 838, that you kind of explode this way. You usually have things under control or you can manage things really well. But this has been like a very strong blow. And your partner is now reminding you how Your life is wonderful no matter what path you take or where this road leads. And they're kind of reminding you that, like, yeah, it might not be this one, but maybe the next one. Or maybe it's because something beautiful is just around the corner that's it's a little different, that you might appreciate a little bit more then. Or that things are all right, or things just wasn't the right situation, or they're able to give you a little bit more TLC if it's a heartbreaking situation. Yeah, your partner really understands you at 38. That's very special. Okay, so let's see the purpose of this all happening. What's the theme? Boundaries. So I feel like the two of you have put down your shield a little bit more. I feel like your partner, this could be vice versa, but I feel like the person who feels like they're at rest, they felt like they needed to put up so many walls. They're like, I need to put in work in the relationship, but I'm not going to take anything from the relationship because that always ends in hurt. I can't ever rely on them. They're not ever loyal. They're not dependable. They can't really do anything to actually help me. They don't know how to. They don't take the time to figure out how to help me, love me, support me. So in a relationship, I do all the work, and then they attract people who need like 10 times more work than a normal relationship because they're just picking the wrong ones. So that was their partner, right? And then you, I feel like you're such a very deep, complex, go-getter, 838, that it's hard for you to find a partner who can even understand the things that you talk about sometimes. Whether it's the type of work you do, the business you're in, the people you have to work with, your world. Maybe it's a very specific or unique world that, yeah, it's hard for people to understand. You do a lot of work on yourself, and you usually don't come across people who can understand that, who's ever been trying to even willing to work on themselves in that way. Probably not even be at your level, but just even understand. That was good to find someone that can support you. Okay, so let's look at Spirit's advice for you back then and now, and then a message from them. Okay, vibes never lie. So right off the bat, back then, it was very easy to see, not from what was actually happening in the connection, but how they were feeling internally and how you were feeling internally, how right this connection was. It was the ease they felt. They felt like they can rest finally. They were so excited to hear you talk and not have to constantly ask you, is everything okay? What's the problem here? How do I fix it? You know? And same for you. I feel like you picked up immediately that this person was different, that this connection was going to be different. Okay, and what about now? Surrender. Okay. So I feel like the both of you kind of had too many boundaries up from past experiences, too many walls up, and both of you have been slowly kind of bringing your walls down and surrendering more to this connection more and more. It's kind of obvious with whatever the situation is. Both of you kind of had an eye-opening moment. Them realizing they know exactly how to help you and feeling like positive no matter what happens in your life, the good and the bad, that things will be okay and you both can move on and upward. and you know how to they know how to comfort you. They know how to like they know that things will be good because they've seen proof of it in just the time that you had together. And then also you had an eye-opening experience because you realized they were able to help you in a really difficult time where you're ready to kind of change your life drastically or walk away, or weren't sure if you were making the right decision for yourself. They're able to kind of come in and help in that way. Wow. I feel like you've never, I'm getting that you might have never ever really got that from others, where they're able to kind of help you make a decision. Because I feel like you make a lot of tough decisions. You might be the CEO, you might be a good manager, you might be the matriarch or the patriarch of the family, always making the tough decisions, head of the household, head of the business, you know, wherever you work, people always look to you. So it might be kind of reassuring to you that like this person has your back, and although they might not have the same dreams and goals and passions as you, like that's not the point here. The point is that both of you can support each other. And I feel like it's hard to find people that can do that correctly for the both of you for different reasons. Listen to your heart. This is coming from you to them, but like you don't really know it. Okay, so your higher self is telling them, you know, listen to your heart, do what you think is right for this connection, because they're having a lot of dreams of you. So they're probably speaking to your higher self. They're probably speaking to your guidance. They might be even reaching out to their angels or to someone that can help them in this situation. That is like, but I'm meaning more specifically you. Like they might be even like saying like asking you like, oh, what would you want me to do in this situation? If you weren't like freaking out, like you're the person I would ask, like how can I ask you, and you're the person I'm trying to help. And so they're listening to their heart, they're listening to your higher guidance, your higher self even. Wow, this is magical. They know how to do this. That's crazy. And please accept me as I am in this moment. I feel like that's, again, your higher self talking to them, saying, in a tough situation, I know you know that this thing I was really looking forward to didn't come to fruition. I feel like your heart is saying, your higher self is saying to them, listen to your heart, like do what you think is right. If it comes from your heart, it's probably exactly what I need. And then your human self is saying to them, it's funny because I was pulling cards from their higher self to you, their physical self to you, but it's messages from you to them. Wow. They're intuitive. They can pick up on the stuff. They might be listening to tarot readings. You know? Wow. Okay, so anyway, your physical self is telling them like, hey, like this is who I am. Like I hope you can accept that. This is like how I've dealt with things in the past, or this is how I am when I'm like not at my best. Like I might be spiraling, but let me spiral, or, you know, do what you can to help. But, you know, if I think you're not helping, please let me just do my thing. So, yeah. Wow. I'm going to pull one more card for Spirit's advice on this, because it seems like they're helping you in a very stressful situation that doesn't, you know, it's kind of one of those things that like, I mean, it happens in life, but maybe they've never seen you this way, or this is more serious. Or it's kind of hard to pull you out of this deep sunken depression or something. The Hanged Man. You seem to be powerless in this situation that has you feeling trapped or stuck. But is that the full truth for yourself by shifting your perspective or adapting a new mindset? So yeah, I think with the boundaries thing, and both of you had so many walls up before, I think this is a real good test to show the both of you how much you let your walls down and how much you can rely on the other person. Yeah. It's a really eye-opening experience for both of you to show that, yeah, they can be there for you. And when it matters, significant moments, like they know what to do. And you trusting someone to be there for you in the exact way that you needed. Wow, this has been a very special reading, Pal838. Like, if it's resonated, I'd really appreciate a like or comment to let me know. You know, if you feel this energy, if it's been helpful, your person or this reading in any way. Sorry if you're going through a difficult situation. I mean, it does seem like you have people in the spiritual realm, in the physical realm, that hear you and that are there for you in exactly the way you need it. So yeah, I hope you have a better rest of the day, and I wish you much love and light. Hi, lovely Pile959 with the tiger and the tiger's eye. Let's look at how your person was feeling about you back then and now. And we're going to go back and forth a little bit. So back then, they didn't really have any confidence in themselves or in this connection. All the cards come out in reverse, so that's my indication that this was not too long ago. For most people, this back then feeling was not too long ago. So I feel like you're looking up a situation that was more recent. It's like, oh, has anything changed from then to now? So I felt like they didn't want to give. One person didn't want to give to this connection. And there was communication. So I feel like someone asked about leveling up the connection, making it fortifying the connection, the strength of connection. So making it stronger somehow. So like making it official, asking the other person out, moving in with the other person, asking the other person to marry you, whatever situation is, picking a wedding date, meeting the kids, meeting the family, moving closer to each other, buying something significant together, whatever it is. One person wasn't 100% confident in the connection, and this was talked about. I'm getting without full confidence in one or both of you, backed out of whatever that proposal to fortify the connection was. Okay, how do they feel about you now compared to back then? Sadness. Oh, they did the wrong choice. They made the wrong choice, they feel. Uh-oh. The Star card. They're like, did I just give up everything I wished and dreamt for in life? Did I just lose everything? Did I just throw in the towel on something that had a lot of that hope, not just hope, but like actual substance? I think the issue here was one person didn't believe that the other person had enough strength to carry a relationship, a more serious relationship, or more responsibility between the two of you, or like, you know, by moving in together or having children or meeting the family or something like that. That one person wouldn't be able to bring enough to the table, meaning not make enough money in their job, or weren't kind of logical or reasonable enough to make good choices in the future. Oh goodness. I mean, this is important to talk about in the beginning, and like, if if one person doesn't completely 100% feel that confident in their person and in the relationship in all ways and not just one, um and even if you love that person or like them a lot, if you don't feel like you can move forward with that person, that's like, it's good to like get that out, sooner rather than later. I feel like they were honest about that. I feel like you were honest about things too. Okay. I've been doing spell work on you, so I do feel like recently they've been kind of praying, hoping, wishing, putting out the intentions out there to get you back, because they feel like they've made the wrong choice back then. And back then, I thought about having a family with you. So it wasn't that they weren't taking this situation seriously. They did think about having a family with you or leveling this connection up in whatever that way that is for you. But they just didn't know if it was enough, or if you or they or both of you had what it took to kind of get to the next level, to kind of operate on the next level. It's like wishful thinking isn't gonna be helpful when you're really in it. Like, you hope your partner is going to be able to step up when things are tough, or be able to help out in certain capacities and certain roles, or you hope that you can rely on your partner through thick and thin. But hoping and wishing and wanting is not the same as knowing. And they didn't know, you didn't know, or you didn't know, or both of you didn't know, and that made you both think and probably walk away from this connection or the situation. You two might be even together or still communicating, but nothing really happened, or not, you two feel like nothing is going to happen. Oh my goodness. Don't worry, I'm going to pull out all the cards. I'm going to see what good is happening from this. Will you choose me? That's now. I could be your hero baby. So I feel like someone was being very optimistic and very romantic, being like, hey, like I could, back then, being like, hey, like tell me what you need from me, and now I can do it for you. Like, what are your dreams? Like, I can show you that we can make this work. Like, what are your goals? What do you want to, like, what do you need from me to help this connection? So what's the bigger theme of their feelings for you back then? Messenger of Earth. They feel like they've been working on a lot of stuff. So they might have been working on themselves, on their career, on their finances, on figuring out where they want to be next in life, what kind of life they kind of see themselves in, what kind of home, or just kind of these kinds of things. So they feel like they're working on these things, but they aren't totally there yet. I feel like this I could be your hero baby is you. And powerful pile 959. Yet you're someone, I feel like you're a man or woman of your word. When you say something, you mean it. And because this wasn't so long ago, I feel like your person, they had some doubts, but it's their fear of not knowing some things about what they want in life. So they with the Knight of Pentacles here, they've been working on building a relationship with you or being a better relationship type partner in the future. They've been working on what kind of marriage they want, what kind of family life they want, what kind of home they want, what kind of, career they want, or promotion, or what they see themselves doing long term, or even after retirement, for vacations. So they've been figuring these things out, and they've been kind of nailing things down. But you're here as a powerful lion. You already know these things, and you know a lot of things about yourself. Like, if you have the right partner, that will give you the motivation to do anything. Or you can make a lot of money, but if you don't have like a person or a lifestyle to spend it on, then you're not going to do it. And I feel like you, powerful 959, you're at like the place in your life where you're closing out a huge cycle and beginning a new one. And it's not even like you're starting a new chapter. It's kind of like you're starting a whole new like life. And so you need your partner to be on the same page as you. And feeling this a little bit of doubt from them is enough to even freak you out. Even if this is something you wanted, 959, even if you proved your case, that you know what you want in life, you have your goals or whatever, it seems like your partner believes you, but doesn't believe you enough, doesn't trust you enough, doesn't trust themselves enough to move forward at this time. And I feel like that was enough information for you, powerful pile 959, to be like, hey, I'm a powerful tiger or tigress. I could have been your hero. I gave you many chances. I was patient. I was there for you. I listened and I proved myself. There's nothing much I can do here. This is a you thing. I feel like you're like, okay, I feel like you might have been playing along just because like you believe them, pile 959, that, maybe you had, they had appropriate reasons to doubt you, and then you found your power. You're at 995, like you found your power. Like you found out that you might have been repeating some cycles, 959, that you weren't giving them any reasons to doubt you. They were just doubting themselves and projecting it onto you. So I feel like you've come to some significant realizations. And it was enough for you. You're at the end of your rope. You're like, hey, I could have given you everything you wanted and more than you can even hope and dream and desire, because you haven't even figured out your dreams and hopes and desires and what you want out of life, right? Or you haven't figured it all out yet. And I feel like this pile 959, you've kind of reached the end of your rope. You're like, hey, you know what? That's fine. That's cool. We'll go our separate ways. And immediately, as soon as you say that, like now they're just like, oh my goodness, I made a mistake. I'm sad without you. I've been hoping, praying, wishing for you to come back. 5 of fire. Yeah, 555. Lots of 5. 6 and 4 making 10. Like, I feel like it's just like something's got to change. And if you're not going to, then I will. I'm getting that kind of energy. You have some passion with you now, because like I feel like you've realized something powerful, pile 959. Like you realize they're no longer going to cipher your energy, and you have a lot of fire within you now, motivation to move forward and to be like, hey, no, you missed out. Like, I don't want to have, I didn't want to have to see you make all those wrong choices at the end of the connection for you to finally understand that this could have been something. It's like, that's fine. Moving on, It's like, now I want you back. You're so mature. You're so understanding. Like, you are doing so well. Like, you did do the things that you said you were gonna do, or, you're looking good. You're looking fabulous. And like, now that you're not in my life, I forgot what it was like to have you there. And, you were so much to me and so understanding. And, you have proven yourself so much to me. Like, and you did handle this, whatever situationship, whatever happened, like, you handled it so well. Like, maybe I should be with you. It's like, I can't be with someone who couldn't see it, with the amount of patience you gave, pile 959. No. Okay, so let's see Spirit's message and then their higher self's message to you this time. Okay, what was Spirit's message? What was going on back then and now? Okay, so back then, feel into the connectedness of all things. What was the main theme of this connection then and now? Willpower. So they just didn't have enough willpower to kind of see this connection through. It's funny because they were kind of like suspecting you for not being able to have what it takes to get to the next level and maintain that, when in reality, it was them that lacked the willpower, or knowing that they have the willpower to see themselves in that next cycle. Okay, what the Spirit has a message in terms of what's happening now between the two of you. Look at life with fresh eyes. Yeah. So Spirit's like, whatever happens with the situation, you go back to them, you try it again, or you give some space and then try it again, or you just become friends, or, you kind of keep this person at arm's length, but don't completely disconnect, or whatever the situation is. A Spirit is kind of really advising, like, you were at your wit's end for a reason. You were at the end of the cycle for a reason. And it was very much like they weren't going to change, so you needed to. So don't kind of fall back to who you were. Maybe continue being, taking this like new path. You have a lot of energy, motivation for it. And in fact, you might be a little PO'd as this person. Like, take that energy and channel it into things that you want to do for yourself. And, you always have time to entertain this in the future or whatever. But in the time being, if it's Spirit is saying it's worth it for you to kind of use this momentum and this energy that you have, this forward moving energy, to keep moving forward, to keep the energy fresh, this fresh energy, keep cultivating that and making that power work for you. Okay, a message from their physical self and then a message from their higher self. Message from their physical self. You bring light into my darkness. Yeah. So they're sad now because, like, yeah, you illuminated a lot of things for them. You gave them a lot of clarity. They have a lot of understanding now, and it's like kind of too bad that they didn't have this understanding before. But it just means that the two of you weren't on the same level when it comes to the relationship that you wanted. Yeah, because you're ready to level up and you have the maturity to back that. It wasn't that they weren't mature, it was just like that they had too many questions and they had some doubts and they weren't absolutely sure until, you gave them an ultimatum, or you brought up this leveling up situation, or until you moved on, or gave this connection space, and then they figured it out. So it's kind of like, well, if I knew and you didn't, how do you, like, why would I want to continue on with you? Last card here, a message from their higher self to you. I'm awakening to what this love really means. So the higher self is like, yeah, like, if you can, like, try not to be too harsh with them, or like maybe not completely cut them off or ghost them. Like, you don't have to give them attention or your energy or something, but if you ever cared about this person and love this person, keep them at arm's length. You don't have to text them all the time or anything, but giving them, don't give them unsolicited advice, but kind of give them like the answers they need sometimes. Like, don't you ever wish sometimes, like, with people that didn't work out with, exes, people you've dated, old friends, or, you know, a fight that you had with a random person, or even a family member long ago, like, some questions that you wish you could have asked, but you may not have the opportunity to do that again. It's kind of like you're being that person to them. You're allowing them to get some clarity and some answers that they otherwise might have not be able to get, or not for a long time, by going in and doing their inner work and talking to their higher guidance. So you're kind of giving them a way to kind of expand, grow, learn, and evolve faster. And if it doesn't trigger you because you're above that, and you know, would just rather help this person out because you're in a good place, and because it doesn't affect you negatively, it doesn't make you feel any which way, especially not negative, that you can give this person answers and be happy to genuinely help them out becoming a better person for themselves, that would be very helpful. But if you are feeling triggered, and if you are like, if this person didn't, like, you know, there's a reason that you left or whatever, like, then that's a different story. But for most people who are attracted to my channel and my light are also very high vibrational people themselves. So you must have a very, you know, strong light yourself. So this is probably the first situation where you're very emotionally and spiritually mature, and you understand and can see this connection for what it is now, because you have some space, or you will very soon, because you're having some space from it, and channeling that energy into things that you want to get done for yourself. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that reading. Powerful number, pile number 5. I keep saying 5. 959. I definitely looked that up. I'm gonna actually look it up for you. So the sun has already set, but I just feel like, yeah, it's a very metaphorical, like, yeah, I feel like the last chapter, the last cycle has already ended. If you two do have a chance together in the future, it would be once you get this new life for yourself started already. But I feel like for most of you, you might move on to bigger and better things. But 959, I mean, I don't look up these readings numbers before. I know a lot of them, but not like exactly. But yeah, 959 brings a message from your angels to focus on your personal, spiritual, and life purpose. Your life is changing in many positive ways, and these changes will open doors for you to pursue an interest, career, or pastime that matches your spiritual beliefs. If you have been dreaming of a different career or profession, opportunities may arise that will lead you in that direction. You might want to look to spiritually based, something that makes your heart sing, something more spiritual or creatively based. Use your skills, talents, and personal tenacity to excel in your life and continue to grow in positive and loving ways as you uplift and enlighten yourself and others. Yeah, and your skills, abilities, and talents as a light worker, starseed, way shower are desperately needed by humanity, and you are urged to get to work on your life purpose without delay. So yeah, this person, I feel like, it's like, if you're not with me, you're delaying me, kind of things. It's like, if you catch up in the future and whatever, that's fine, but I need to get this soul purpose stuff done now, or I need to get started or get to the next thing or whatever. So beautiful pile, 959. Do your powerful thing. I hope you enjoy this reading. If you liked it or resonated with it, I really appreciate a like or comment, especially for this pile. I really want to know if you do feel a call for your life's purpose and like nothing is going to get in your way kind of thing. And if there is something getting in your way and what that is, because that'd be really helpful to know, because I do have another channel where I do lightworker readings, and lightworkers we're each other's channels. We channel for each other a lot, because there's no one else doing it for us, But yeah, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day, and I wish you much love and light.